Hello, 8 p.m. UK time, 9 p.m. Central European time. It's a Sunday evening. It must be time for ESC Fan TV. Oh, and we are here to talk about all things Festival de Cancao. You will notice I have two lovely panelists with me this evening. We have the lovely Donna.
Hello, how are we all? Yes, back again for more Portugal this time. Looking forward to it.
And we've also got the lovely Mick.
Boa noite a todos. That's
Fabulous to see you, Mick.
Fabulous to see everybody.
Yeah, Torche, mahogany gas pipe. That's
yeah.
It's a Terry Wogan response. I know. God rest his soul. Yes. If you saw us last night, you will notice that we were very, very, very melody festival. But that has gone now. If you are here and thinking, are they going to comment on it? No, I'm not, obviously. So watch this, then go onto our YouTube channel and go and watch last night's show because it's really good. It was me, it was Sean, it was Elliot, and we were having an absolute ball, and there were loads of people commenting in the chat room. And do you know what? You'll love it. In the meantime, guys, 12 songs in Portugal as well. Did we enjoy the show?
Yeah, actually, it was a good contest.
Yeah. It was all right.
I was going to say, guys, we are, it's the three of us. I wouldn't even bother putting yourselves on mute tonight. We're just going to chime in and we're going to natter away.
Yeah.
Okay. But
as far as the national finals go, I would say this is one of the better production ones, and it always has been. It's a long-standing contest, so it's always nice to dip into this one and know you're going to get a decent show.
Yeah, and Portugal is Portugal. They do their own thing, and that's what's always appealed to me, really. So and it was a bit of a mixed bag.
They've never wanted to be beholden by trends, have they?
Never.
No.
No, not at all. Right, guys, shall we listen to the first 6 songs? Let's do it.
Eu sou como ninguém. Meu sorriso levou-me a aprender que eu sou como ninguém. Posso ser rainha deste chão, posso ser coroa de latão, posso ser personagem de ficção. No meu peito, a minha casa é o pé de ti. Meu amor, essa é minha casa.
So we had 6 songs there. We had Bombazine with Apego Judo. We had Maragida Campello with Usei Que O Amor. Henka with I Want to Destroy You. Blue with Ninguem. Jessica Pina with Calafrio. And Marco Rodriguez with Amina Casa. And yes, I don't speak Portuguese in any way, shape or form. And if anyone wants to hold me on that pronunciation, feel free, to be fair. But guys, what were your favourites amongst this? Donna, do you want to go first?
I can do, yes. I thought it was a very sort of mixed bag of eras here, wasn't it? It was like winding back the TARDIS time to the 70s, kicking off with those suits, my God. At least they weren't white, black or red, as seems to be the favourite things this year. We got a peach 70s going on there, If it had actually been played at 45 instead of 33, I think I'd preferred it a bit more. But not a bad one to kick off with. It sort of set the tone, didn't it, really? Then after the blue, you get Henka. in position number 3, and you're like, oh my, this, where's this come from? Yeah, brilliant. I think if Bambi Thug and Luke Black had a love child, this is her. Yeah, I mean, you can tell that she's an established rock singer as well, because it's another sort of song that mixes up a bit like Bambi did, have a classical element and then this massive like metal vocal. Yeah, I think she was like fronting the band Deranged or something in London for the last 10 years or something.
I mean,
so yeah,
I don't think I'm ever going to listen to the word destroy quite the same ever again.
no, but it certainly let's say woke up the audience, and it was quite interesting to put it in that 3rd position after the first 2, the female Christy Berg and then the lovely suited gentleman at the beginning. Yeah, I really liked that one actually, and thought it would do a lot better than it actually did. But we'll find out that later on. The other one of that set was Marco Rodriguez. I really liked his song. It's obviously a classical and fado singer, and it showed the quality of his voice. Absolutely beautiful. I bet you like this one, Mick, don't you? A piano ballad.
Oh, musical male ballad, yeah, in a foreign language. I'm yours. You don't even have to buy me a drink. Absolutely. I love fado as well, so that really was right up my street. Yeah.
Oh, what were your other favourites in this one, Mick?
I'll have to be honest, Inca, just because it woke everything up, and I'm always a sucker for a rocky type song anyway as well. So and I was trying desperately to think, have Portugal ever sent something like that? And part of me, not as in your face as that, but yeah, that was good. But as Donna said, the first 2 openers, it was almost like you're in a lift, all that easy listening music. You'd be thinking, oh God, get to floor 20 quick, come on, hurry up.
Will it come as a shock to anyone to know that I have a soft spot for Margarita song? I just quite liked it. It was very gentle.
It
very
was
peaceful.
Yeah. And again, it almost had like a jazzy element, easy listening jazzy element, and and the backing singers really, they melded well together, and I think it just showed with those 6 songs the different, just how varied Portugal, can be in their selections, and of course, Blue A and Ninguém, Michelle's favourite, interpretive dance. Bless him. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it was lovely, wasn't it?
It was sweet. It was absolutely sweet. Yeah, and
he got such a lovely voice as well.
Oh God, what a gorgeous voice! Yeah, yeah. It just so smooth, gentle but beautiful voice. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh,
for me, that one didn't stand out as much because I don't know if the dancing distracted a little bit from the singing. The way it was sort of staged very linear. You got the piano almost in level with his vocal sitting on a stool, and then you've got the 2 in the centre, and it was very almost like it was staged in a school. It was just very bland lighting. Yeah, I don't know. It's a shame about that, really. But
Jessica Pina, again, armography. Yay, we all love a bit of armography. Oh, come on, that's what Eurovision's all about. Good old Jessica.
Armography, isn't that just like teaching people to chair dance? You don't need to move. You can just kind of move your arms a little bit.
I mean, it's ideal when you're in the audience and you haven't got anywhere to stand up, and you do a bit of without punching your neighbour. It's great.
Yeah. But I must admit that the backlighting on Jessica's, I was thinking, oh gosh, those dresses are going to reveal a bit too much. The backlighting nearly caused an incident, I think. So I'm glad they wore the knickers. That's all I'm saying.
Oh dear, oh dear. Well, we need to say good evening to David, who's in the group chat.
Hiya, David.
Good evening, David. He says last night has something surprising shocks in possibly FDC. Best final since new format, despite negative reaction from some people. Also adds that Henker won the televote. Kind of surprised. Knew she could be top 3, but not to win. Second year in a row that a Rockist entry got the televote. Jessica was a surprise for the jury results. Also, a big hello and good evening to Fatima as well, who is still in shock. Hello.
Hello, Fatima.
So we've looked at the first kind of 6 songs. I want to leave the discussion on the voting, I think, till later, because the voting, quite frankly, as people who watch the show will realise, was interesting. There we go. I like the word interesting. There we go. That'll do. It was interesting. But shall we take a look at the other 7 songs, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
Por mais que possa parecer, eu nunca vou pertencer àquela cidade. Mar de gente só para quem está em guerra. O fogo não chora por quem morre em terra. Prefiro viver com medo do que estar a viver sem ti. Mãos e corpo no dia. Irmãos, rua, a única rubrica. Hoje dói tanto mais. Dizem tristeza as palavras. Quando vos calam a voz, daqui respondemos não.
And there we had our final 6 songs. We had Descolado, Napa. We had Amastor by Peculiar. Mido by Fernando Daniel. Rhapsodia de Paz by Emmy Curl. Tristeza by Josh. And Diana Villarino sang Cotovia. Again, don't hold me on pronunciation. I have to say this. I've given it a go. People say try. They say, try, Tom, make an effort. I made an effort. So
Better than I could do, so absolutely.
There we go. Guys, there's some really, I mean, personally, I found the second half a lot more interesting than the first. I mean, I thought a certain section of the fandom might kind of, like Peculiar's act. Perhaps a little more than they actually did. But also, I thought that you had Cotovia, which I thought actually harked back to something that was a bit more old-fashioned in terms of Portuguese entries. And I thought that had something very endearing about it in a year that seems to be a lot more sonar. So, Mick, what did you make of these? What were your favourites amongst this lot? Obviously, we'll talk about the winner separately.
I think this half had 4. I would say there were 4 tracks really that were vying for my vote. Adam Storm, by Peculiar, who doesn't like a dark brooding man, so. Yes, and in a vest and all dolled up, and Fernando Daniel with Meadow. Oh God, the emotional delivery of it was just absolutely stunning. Thank God he didn't stand on the chair too long, because I'm starting to think, oh no, plinth alert! If you stand on that chair too long, I'm not very good, Fernando. And then, oh God, Josh Tristeza. I have to be honest, how that man stayed on that pole, I think that distracted me too much. I was more interested in how the hell is he staying on that pole than listening to the actual song. But when I was listening to the song, it was just so beautiful and absolutely delivered. And so it put me in a dilemma because it's, can a man on a pole, does that qualify the pole as a plinth? I don't know. It was, let's discuss later on. But yeah, Diana Villarino with the Kostovia. Oh, I mean, that was to me almost like Fado. The delivery, the emotion, the vocal performance. Oh, my God. I mean, if I'd have seen that in a bar in Lisbon, I would have been most happy. So yeah, I think it was to be a toss up between Josh and that's two, Josh and Diana to get my vote. But I think Diana probably would just inch it. I think.
Donna, what did you think?
At its best.
What did you think, Donna?
I think out of that section, Fernando Daniels' Medo was my favourite. I just loved the way it was staged. I'm a sucker for theatrical staging to tell the story as well. And it just, bits of it, with the box that he was originally sort of standing in, the set he was standing in, reminded me a little bit of Lorene's background in her box for Tattoo. So you got the kind of lightning effects going on, and then I like the fact that it stretched so you could get the hand impressions going on, the nightmares that were kind of tormenting. And yeah, I really like that. And plus with his voice, absolutely beautiful. But yeah, I was wondering how long he was going to stay on that chair, and probably a little bit too long. Because the temptation for risk on a chair. No.
Yes.
So yeah, that was my favourite, the whole sort of section there. Yeah, we got plinths a lot in this section, didn't we?
Oh, yes, we did indeed.
Oh my. So Diana's vocal as well, absolutely beautiful. What a way to end. But plinth, 1, and 2 dancers. Like, why stage them right up the very back so you can barely tell what they're actually doing until about halfway through when the orange lighting and they bring them forward? I just didn't really understand that, and then by the end they're all over her, So it did seem a little bit odd to do it that way, and I probably at least lit them a bit better and brought them forward a bit more. But I really like that song as well for the classical element. Nice way to finish. Who else? Josh, you absolutely nailed it on the head, Mick. I spent more time looking how he was actually attached to the pole, because initially you think, oh, it's wires, we've got another aerialist like many national finals seem to have done. But no, it was actually through his arm, his sleeve into his jacket. And so I more or less missed the song because I was actually looking how it was done. So yeah, that was a bad staging move there because everybody was looking at the same thing, I think. But actually beautiful vocal again. Nails, lose the nails. Don't need the nails. Amy, what do we think about Amy? It was a mixture of a song for me. It reminds me as if Disney sponsored Eurovision, this was kind of what we would get. I think
a bonkers Aladdin outfit for sure. Yeah.
Is it wrong?
A silver subwoofer head dress going on.
Is it wrong for me to say the fact that she didn't get any televote points didn't surprise me because I didn't think her vocal was that good?
I didn't like her voice, I'm afraid, or the rappy bit. There was something about her voice that just really grated on me, I'm afraid. No disrespect to her, but I just didn't like that kind of vocal delivery.
I think the actual clashing of melodies at times got me a bit. I don't think it felt like it knew what it was actually trying to present, if that makes sense. It almost sounded a bit Bollywood in places, which was quite nice to hear. But I didn't think it settled on an angle it wanted to go for, which was a bit of a shame. because I liked it at the beginning, and then
Mm.
it died very quickly. It was a shame. But yeah, I think that whole section. Yeah, I think Diana, and Fernando definitely.
Yeah. Oh, we got Fatima in the chat room. She says, we understood that about 4 or 5 songs could win, but Descolado wasn't on top of that. Also says that Cotivia became really special yesterday because it was International Women's Day, and its lyrics were so good for the day. It was touching. She liked Mado for Fernando's great voice, and Tocesta for Josh's uniqueness, but agrees that his staging was distractive. Now, hopefully, guys, you have picked up from this, although we don't have the winning moment to share with you this evening, that it was Descolado that actually won the position, the place for Portugal. The song that's being sent to Basel for the Eurovision, and I've totally mucked up my phrasing of that. But the voting, guys, let's talk about this voting. What the hell happened? I mean, even in grid format, and I'm looking at it in grid format, there was a lot of consistency for Cotovia in the regional vote, picking up lots of 10 points from the Lisbon area, Ajaccio, Algarve, Madeira, whereas Descolado appeared not to do so well. But those 12s were all over the place, weren't they?
Yeah. You couldn't sort of like guess who was going to be next. No. I think more or less each region basically gave a 12 to a different artist. So yeah, it was very confusing, and it's an easy way. We've seen it in Eurovision as well for an artist who's maybe gotten consistently the 10 points or the 8 points to sneak up through the middle, and I think that's what's kind of happened here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, is it? Because you would expect from that Cotovia would actually take the win, but Cotovia ends up coming second. But I think for that we have to look at the public televote, because both Cotovia and Descolado finish on the same amount of points. They finish with 17 points, but obviously Descolado gets more televote points, so they've placed more emphasis on the televote and sent that through. I mean, do you think the right choice was made? Do you think the system is right there? What do you guys think?
I'll let you go first, Mick.
I knew you would. Yeah, I think it's always disappointing, especially when you've got such a powerhouse performance like Cotovia, then to go out on a technicality, as it were, from a song that was kind of, well, middle of the road in all aspects, to be truthful. And so it's like, well, where did this come from? It's like in the horse racing where, you know, the two favourites, you're focusing on them at the front, and then suddenly through the middle, right from the back, you know, the winner comes storming through, and you think, where did that come from? You know, it's a bit strange, but I think with the variety in the 12 points, I think that probably shows you that even the juries couldn't really, you know, decide on an outright winner. It is very, very strange.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at,
broke it up too much.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if you look at the way it works, basically the jury votes were converted into the 12 points. So in actual fact, Cotovia got 57 points in the jury, but in actual fact, because of the equal weighting, that just gave them a 12 points from the jury. Descolado picks up 38 points. They get 7 points from the jury. However, in the public televote, it's Descolado gets 10 points, whereas Cotovia only gets 5 points, which ultimately ended up being the tiebreaker. Poor Henka got no points from the juries at all,
No.
but tops the televote. I mean, work that out.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like it's a kind of Kino-esque difference, doesn't it? You know, where the juries are, no, we're not keen on this. And then
Mikhail Shpak, you know. So.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
A hideously underrated song, sorry.
Absolutely. It's still
the great Eurovision debate of the juries versus the public vote. You know? So it's always going to rear its head, isn't it? You know, what the public like and the juries just bomb it. You know, so
yeah.
It is. The interesting thing is, do we think Portugal have got a qualifier on their hands?
I will be honest, Napa, it reminded me a little bit of, was it Southern Lights with Lullaby?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the song is a nice, gentle, indie floating music, and it kind of builds up a bit, but it's just not enough to hold your attention, and I think it may suffer the same, result, I'm afraid, for Portugal. I mean, I don't think it's a bad song in any way. It's just there were some other more interesting songs which you could do visually. I mean, them turning up in the pajamas just wasn't right. You know, it's no. They need to get a new. They need to get a new clothing allowance from RTP. You know.
Well, we've already had the kind of prison outfits taken by.
Yeah.
Which can, yeah, so yeah. Well, it's a slightly different angle, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That sort of like, let's say Beatles-esque indie sound is definitely making a comeback again, and I think we started to see a bit of that with Joker Out a few years back, and even Turan Turan with X. You know, although they didn't do as well. It was still bringing that influence back in again, and I guess that the televote was actually, it'd be interesting to find out actually if it was a younger vote
demographic,
that actually voted for them, because they've actually been on the go since 2013 as a band, but under a different name. I think they were called Men on the Couch. Interesting name. I think I prefer Napa. But yeah, so they're not new to the scene, and they've just apparently been on their first sort of big, almost sellout tour. So it's on that rise with probably a new young audience, and that's where this televote has come from. So yeah, they've got backing. Whether that'll prove to do them justice in Eurovision, I don't know. It's an awkward one, because if it's placed second, it'll die.
Yeah.
If it's placed between two big character songs, like Estonia, for one, it could be forgotten.
Or it could stand out, because with all the kind of humorous songs, people might be thinking, "Oh, thank God, an actual song," that they can go along with. You just never know with the Eurovision public, because I mean, I'm still traumatized by Norma John from Finland never getting through. I mean, but,
I agree.
There you go.
Don't get me started.
Yep.
My opinions are very well documented on that one.
Yeah, it's like. Oh,
unfortunately, they're not the same as everyone else's.
I don't know. I still agree with you on this one. But yeah, so they're first half of the first semi-final. So it could be interesting whether you put them nearer the beginning or put them nearer the middle. I would say probably put them nearer the middle. So at the end of that first half.
Yeah.
But
they've got some interesting competition, haven't they? I mean, personally, I would be concerned for them if they were put near Ukraine or Slovenia in
Mhm.
terms of the style of song. At the same time, as a producer looking at that order, my God, where do you go with some of that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And would this be restaged, do we think, or are they going to keep the sort of simplistic band aesthetic like Joe Crowd did? Just keep it very simple, and pretty it up with lightning and movement.
I reckon you'll see it stay the same because I think the
Yeah.
deadline is too
Too soon.
quick.
Yeah.
Because it's all got to be finalised by tomorrow, hasn't it? For the EBU reference board. And then they start plotting all the camera angles and stuff like that. So it's why Sweden's package for Eurovision is always sent, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I suspect that's been the same with all the entries we've actually had come out over the last few days. I suspect San Marino, United Kingdom, we're still to hear Cyprus's song, Georgia's song, and France, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
In the
So-
rugby next weekend.
I know it's going to be an interesting,
Yeah.
kind of audience for that
Yeah.
one.
Yes, I can
Yeah.
imagine a lot of Scottish rugby fans going, "What?"
No, they won't be going what? They'll be going, what the hell just happened?
This is why we're not taking part.
Of course it is. Because I mean, could you imagine? Which is yeah. But
Yeah.
so guys, I'll be saying Portugal qualifier or not.
I think I'm going to be positive because I love Portugal so much, and I love what they bring to Eurovision, and they deserve a place in the final with whatever they bring. I think they'll probably just sneak in, 9th or 10th. I think, depending, as you say,
It's
on
a Portuguese sneaker from Mick.
Yeah.
Donna, what do you reckon?
Oh gosh, I think out of many of the ones that we've looked at this season, this is one of the trickier ones. Yeah, and it could go either way. It could bomb disastrously, or it could just really nicely sneak in, and we'll get a sort of palate cleanser in the final, which would be quite nice, actually. So something a bit different. Portugal do tend to surprise us each year, where a lot of people sort of say, "Oh no, it's a bit too gentle for this. It's a bit too, and actually, there's a lot more supporters for it than a lot of people think. So, yeah, it could do a sneaky 10th.
Do you know what? I'll get on board with that. Last year, I thought Portugal was a sleeping giant, and Portugal came 10th, which I'll be honest, pleased me quite tremendously because I'd got odds on them coming in the top 10. So, yay, Portugal. But yes, do you know what? I think I would like to see Portugal qualify. And I know some people are just going in the chat, they're going, no, they're not going to qualify. I would like to actually remind people that the semi-finals, there are fewer songs in the semi-finals these days. And so the chances of qualifying, we're not looking at, 10 years ago where you'd cull 8 or 9 songs. You're only culling 5 out of the 15 that are going to be presented on the night. And I think Portugal won't be one of those ones that get culled. I think I'm going to be more optimistic than you two. I'm going to say 8. There we go.
Ooh, there you go. But that's an all-round qualifier from us, though.
It is. It's an all-round qualifier from us. And that brings our Portugal show to a close. Insert tears here. We are back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. UK time, 9 p.m. Central European time. And we're going to be talking about all things San Marino. Yes, Michelle and Elliot will hopefully be here to guide you through. I've been doing the weekend shift this week, which is just as well because I'm not here tomorrow. But I would like to thank my panelists. Can we thank the lovely Donna?
You can indeed, and I'll thank you as well, Tom. It's been a pleasure.
And big thanks to the lovely Mick.
Thanks, Tom and Donna. Yeah, it's nice to have a stable connection.
Hey, well, I wasn't going to mention it whilst it was ongoing, Nick, just in case.
Yeah, I'm not on the moon. I'm not on the moon. Oh, but
Hey,
Hey.
it's
Love it.
It's lovely, and thank you, Portugal, for a wonderful night as always. It's one of the national finals I really always look forward to, and yeah, very good.
Brilliant.
So thanks everybody.
As always, thanks to everyone who contributed in the chat room this evening. Thanks to Lee, thanks to Fatima, thanks to Thomas, thanks to David. It's always lovely to see you. Thank you for watching as well. And as always, good luck to Napa, the Portuguese entrance in Basel in May. We love you. We wish you all the best. And yeah, just forgive my deformed heart. I'm really rubbish at doing this, but there we go. We'll try. It's the thought that counts. In the meantime, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend, what's left of it, and we'll catch you later. See you later.
Okay.
Adios.
Bye.
Bye-bye.